Welcome back to another episode of Who Woke the
Yes, ma'am.
Savage. It's your girl, Miss Will and Woke, aka Day from Around the Way, kicking it with the homie as
Lady A
always.
Savage.
And yes, friend, it is spring is in full bloom and it's starting to feel good. Like I'm so enjoying this new warm weather and I hope it
I hope it
sticks.
stays here, but the rain did kick the other day, so I hope it still stays because it be shifting.
Look, I'm not ain't nothing wrong with a little drizzle as long as it don't snow no more. I'm just ready for it to be consistently hot because I'm trying to be outside. Like you know that little meme everybody got posted. It's like
Hey,
summer's
come
calling.
with
It's calling. It's calling
we
me.
outside.
It's hollering at me hard. I ain't gonna lie. And just to say the least, I'm giving that Drake energy where he says we're dropping 10 pounds, preparing for summer. That's what it's at. Like, baby, I don't know about you, but TikTok has me in a chokehold with the order section. Like, I've probably bought like 5 different fitness gadgets that I've been
They
seeing pop up on
do.
my
They
timeline.
do be having them, and
They
they be on
do.
sale.
Baby, we all got weighted vests. We all got
Yeah, they
weighted
be on
vests.
sale too.
Everybody in there, they
They
got
come with the
the
thigh. I bought the
reformer, the
thigh one.
shaper, the tightener.
They got me.
I got the little thigh one that do the
Yeah,
little
they
kegel
they got
squeeze and
me.
all of that thing and get it up.
They got
They
me.
got me. They got me. I think it plays into the culture though too. Like I said, like we're being marketed to in a different way. Like back in the day, fitness videos were like Suzanne Summers and shit with the butt blaster, the ab roller. And I
Little
used to remember
Tabo, little
Tabo, like hit it
Tabo.
with the blades. And do you remember like black people used to have like unlimited like random fitness supplies at their
Yes,
house too? Like
the
you had
stepper,
that like your mom and daddy had them tapes,
the
they had the
weight.
stepper, there was all types of pull down and I was like, oh, I would never be that person. Like I just love, gym membership and all of that stuff. That's the best way that I get my physical fitness in. And then I became such a home gym connoisseur.
Mm-hmm.
I'm over here on weekends watching my little fitness videos on YouTube, getting it in. Like I feel like I don't know if it's the age that kicks in when you need something different in
Maybe,
your routine. Taking hitting them line dance
maybe.
classes. I'm telling you, like I'm cha-chaing with the left and cha-chaing with the right just to keep the pounds
No, for
off.
real.
Look,
Little line dance ain't hurt nobody. That be my thing for real. Like a good little line dance at home. I go in my basement where ain't nobody watch me, can't nobody see me. And I get it in. I don't play. Anybody, Miss Welling won't know. I don't play about the line dance. I get it in. If a new line dance come out, I'll be ready to try to learn that thing.
and I think like it's popular to the culture. Like every season, there's like a wave that people go through where you see a big fitness incentive. And I don't know if you remember this during the Super Bowl. This was like a big, like controversial thing that happened. Mike Tyson got up there and did this whole little advertisement where he was calling his sister all types of fudgy, pudgy, budgy, or
But did
whatever.
I see
And
that?
he was just like, up, yes, it was a crazy video where it was his advertisement for a GLP-1, right? So he was basically saying that why people should take these weight loss drugs. And he was like, yeah, like, my sister was all types of fudgy and pudgy and all types of stuff. And he was like, I was a little fudgy too. And I was like, oh, Mike Tyson. And this aired, you got to think during the Super Bowl, like in front of the world, where you have millions of folks watching in this country. And it was his way of basically forcing a narrative like people should be less thick,
Meanwhile, here I
less.
am
The
sitting with a thick shirt on.
whole thing is like, first of all, during the Super Bowl, who didn't have, if not a chicken wing or a
Let
shrimp
me tell you,
cocktail, plop their name out while watching this game? If I didn't have tortilla, I had literally
son,
chip and dip on cracker, and I was like,
during the
really, Mike?
Super Bowl,
Really, Mike?
everybody know all the good food
We
come
doing
out.
fudgy and pudgy right now while
All
I'm
the good
eating
food come
chips.
out during the Super Bowl. You sitting up there licking your fingers during the Super Bowl. Like all the good Super Bowl food come out. So let's be for real.
You know what I'm saying? I was somewhere like pass me another cheese slice where this commercial was aired. But it just speaks to like the tone of the culture. You see people like him, Charles Barkley, you see like Serena Williams and everything, and they're advertising a lot of this new medication, Oprah Winfrey, and it's changing the foundation of how
That's true.
people look. Like I saw something crazy even with Lizzo, right? Lizzo released some statement about how she decided that she didn't want to lose her virginity until she won a Grammy. Now there was a lot of people who was calling cap on that. Yeah, there's a lot of people who was like they was calling cap on that situation. They wasn't buying it. But for me, it was the comment section. Sometimes I
You
gotta go
got
straight to the comment
sometimes you
section. You
have
ever
to
watch
run,
something and they
skip,
don't even be about the
and jump
video.
to the
It's
comment
just the
section.
comment section. The comment section is where the
You have to
camaraderie is.
you
It's
have
where
to
the
stumble
jokes
and
are.
fall into the comment section sometimes.
It's a lot of truth telling in the comment section, right? So inside of the comment section, the disrespect kicked in when you had so many men casting
Mhm.
their opinions about why they felt like Lizzo's statement was accurate or inaccurate. They were like, oh, well, you like 600 pounds. Of course, she was waiting for somebody to sit up there and come roll up on her. And then you had a lot of women like, baby, they'll take it down if it's 600 round. They don't care either way. And it was just interesting to see like how no matter what phase she was at, when she was plus size, she was villainized on one thing. Then she lost weight, she's still being villainized in other
For
parts of
sure.
the community. And I was like, there's no happiness that I feel like people find at either side of the spectrum or any part of the journey. Like if you're somebody who is plus size, if you're somebody who's too skinny, somebody who's too muscular, especially for women, there's no ideal pocket that people want you to fall in. So many girls are taking out those like enhanced body parts. They getting rid of the
Yeah.
butts,
It just
getting
depends
rid of
on
the
who you're around
boobs.
and who you're dealing with. Like everybody has a different image or a different thing that's works for them. So like you say, you might be around somebody with skinny works, but you too skinny. Why ain't you eat? Why ain't you do this? Oh look, you missed the meal. Then you have some people where like you could lose, like you said, let's say you was 5, like you said how she was 600 pounds. You lose weight, but you still consider a little thick. You still consider being still in the thick realm. Cause you ain't you lost weight, but you still ain't skinny though. Like Lizzo is still considered to be thick because she lost weight, but she's still thick. She not skinny. So it just all depends the people you around.
I think our country adheres to what they feel is like Eurocentric
Mhm.
beauty standards, but not necessarily healthy. Are we encouraging people to be in good health, right? And that's just not in terms of how their body looks, but how their mind also
Mhm.
functions too. Like those two things have to go hand in hand for people to live an overall like a good life, right? So I feel like the country pushes one image of what it's supposed to look like, and there's a show that depicts this very thing that I'm talking about. Ryan Murphy came out with a show on FX called Beauty,
I did not watch that.
and Beauty was basically it's so good. It's so good. If you haven't, I'm not gonna give y'all everything because
I
I don't
thought
want to
about
like
watching it
give too
though.
many spoilers or whatever. But the show is fire. The show is fire because it really speaks to the culture right now. And basically, it's like saying beauty is a drug, right? And the way that he depicts beauty is like people are taking this specific drug to make them more externally beautiful. And what happens is when they start to have sex with other people, they like transfer the beauty to them in the form of an STD. And so it's like all these beautiful people are meeting people and they're sleeping around, and then it transfers to the next person, but it's in the form of a disease. So he equates like a sexually transmitted disease and virus to people's obsession with like fitness, weight loss, and to look like an ideal like supermodel. And it's a really, really like unique concept for a show. I feel like Ryan Murphy, he got one of those brains that's like it's a little sick and twisted, but the concept is very real. It's like a parody of what's happening in the real world right now, right? Like people are starting to trivialize certain things to an even higher extent. And we grew up with 90s beauty. We were, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? If you remember being in the
it hits
90s
different.
back in the day, I remember my mother, right? My mother did nothing more than a light red lip.
Honestly,
You know what I'm saying? And kept her hair
let me tell you
tight. She
something.
didn't do, my mother was never like a makeup girly or
Depending on you
anything.
barely had to do a red lip. All you need was a little lip gloss. That's back when you could get one of them lip glosses and go like this. As long as your hair was done, you had your little earrings on, whatever. Everything else, it was just a natural beauty look.
And I think that now people are starting to lean back into that space. There's a lot of good skincare that's coming out on the market that people are starting to prioritize, like taking care of their skin because makeup and all of that stuff, as much I tell people I love a beat. I'm not going to hold. I love a beat. But I value taking good care of my skin. So now, like drinking
Mm.
water, hydrating, your routine as you get older, moisturizing, and all of that good stuff. I feel like the women of back in the 90s had a different way that they took care of themselves than women in this
I
current
tell people all the
era.
time, I give it to the makeup girlies. Like I said, I'm not one. I don't know how to beat a face worth a damn. I'm telling people right now, I can't beat it. I can't do nothing with it. I had to go somewhere and get somebody to do it. I don't know nothing about nothing. And I give it to the girls that can wake up every morning and spend that extra hour that they wake up. hit it, do whatever, and then I give it to y'all. I really do. Or like you go into a function and you need that whole extra hour to set it up, do all that. Cause baby, I'm gonna tell you right now, the most you can get out of me is some Vaseline on this face, a good little moisturizer, like you said, to clean my face, a good little moisturizer, and this lip right here, baby. I ain't never bought a pack of foundation. I ain't never.
Yes. I think makeup became more exploratory when I love the different looks that you can
Mm-hmm.
create with using it, right? But I never felt like it was a necessity. I'm so adamant about this. I don't wear makeup every day to go to work. I don't kick it around most of my friends and people. Like they see me with and they see me without makeup. Like I never feel like it's a given. It's an accent. If you want to do something to jazz up your look or you want to explore something fun, cool, wear makeup. But don't wear it like a
Some people
personality
do though.
or an overall aesthetic. Some people do. Some people do
Like they
wear it
don't
like they
know
don't know who
what to
they
do if
are
they
when
don't
they
put their
take it
face
off.
on. I thought
Let me
I
tell you
did.
something right now. There's not a person around me who hasn't seen me without the
I'm
lashes the
gonna tell
same
you.
way they see me with the
I know a
lashes
girl.
on. You know what
I
I'm
know a girl who
saying?
was in a relationship and legitly, before she was in the relationship, she was just dating a guy. And she legitly did not want to take her face off. Like she was like, I'm gonna have to sleep like this because this is who he met. So she wanted him to wake up and keep seeing this face. And I'm like, okay, let's say y'all become, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. What are you gonna do when it's now time for him to see your face? He gonna have to see your face eventually. Eventually, you gonna take a shower. You gonna do something. He's gonna see your face. What do you do? Why are you trying to keep that?
But truth be told, there's a lot of women who say that they used to wake up an hour before their spouse to make sure that their hair looked like it was dewy and dreamy and that their face had a certain look that they would put on like a little contour or something because they wanted the woman that they went to sleep as they wanted to wake up as in the morning and they wanted him to see that
Hmm.
same person. So I'm like, you got to get up an hour before your spouse to make sure that you look like the person that you did the day before when you had all of this makeup on. Now I'm not saying deceive nobody because I've seen some day and night stuff.
No,
Like
for
I've
real.
seen
I
some
have
day and
too.
night stuff, right? I'm very much a person where it's like I would still want to look
Hmm.
like myself. Like even if some things are polished when you put on makeup, I still
Yeah.
look like me. You ain't looking for another person behind me, like where that sister went.
I
There's
think
a
that's the thing.
difference. And I do feel like there's a lot of people that they do a
Yeah.
little
I
too
think that's the
much.
thing because I never really been when it comes to makeup, I can count how many times I probably really had makeup on. It's like you said, if I'm doing like a photo shoot or something, prom, all those kind of things. But on a day to day basis, like I said, I do not have a makeup kit. Like I said, the most I have is a lip and maybe some eye stuff I can do if I did that. But other than that, so like when a guy meets me, you met me like this. So days to come, whatever. Okay, she the same person, this, that, and the third. Like, yeah, no. But you definitely have people with like day and night. I see some people with like terrible looking. Like, but they look amazing. But the person before that, you be like, woo. I know somebody was mad when you took that off. I know somebody had to fight you. You look like a whole man when you took that makeup off.
Because I think there's a level it's like a whole level of deception. And I do think that people like that's the idea around catfishing, right? I mean, same way I don't want no man to roll up on me
With the
with
heavy,
the fake beard and a fake hairline and all of that stuff like that too. He building a jaw and everything like that. No. And I understand that everybody deserves to present themselves in a way that makes them feel comfortable,
mhm,
right? If you feel like that's how it adds to your external beauty and you like it, I love it. But I feel like as much as people work on the outside, they have to continuously work on the inside. And that's the part of the culture of wellness that people need to enforce. Like, do not hide behind makeup. Do not hide behind extensions, makeup. Do not hide behind fake beards
I
or all
think
of these other things that are just trivial. Like, work on the inner being so that that inner beauty can become external
yes.
beauty.
And you do have people that hide behind it. But I feel like sometimes some people don't hide. Like you said, some people do it just like a little touch up, whatever, even when it comes to hair. Because I hear that one a lot too. For example,
Hmm.
anybody that knows in the real life, we are not bald headed chicks, okay? We have long hair. So what happens is because I do tend to like have my hair in a ponytail, different things, braids, locks, whatever. When I do have my hair out, it's like, oh, you have hair. Yes. Yes, I do. I do. But it's a lot to make because I have a lot of hair. It's a lot to maintain on a daily basis to just have out.
Oh my God. So this is something that came up recently. Like I went on a date and the guy was just talking to me about how he feels like a lot of the way that women portray themselves is because they're trying to impress, he said, other women. He was like, we never told y'all to sit up here and put on wigs and weaves and lashes. Men don't respond to that. We love natural girls. And I was like, let me say this to y'all. Y'all have a way that y'all want to see people look naturally. Let's say that too. There's always a level of
Naturally
bias that
straight.
men utilize when they say that they love natural. Exactly, naturally straight. You're not saying that you want the hair naturally curled or waved or kinked or
Hmm.
afroed. You know what I'm saying? You're saying that you want it natural, but you want the natural girls back in the day who permed it out, the natural girls who blew it
Well, you
out,
didn't realize
right?
that was
That's what natural
chemicals,
you're referring
but you
to.
thought it was just,
Exactly. I was like, except the natural girl who does the twist
yep.
outs. You know what I'm saying? Who does all of the specialty styles that put less tension or less stress on her follicles, that keep healthy edges, that don't require all of those other things. And see, that's like when men get into women's business, and that's how I look at it. When a man gets into a woman's business, they don't understand that some of what we do is not because we don't value what we have and who we are. It's a quickness. A lot of time we want things to be done with
Yes.
convenience. Convenience. Life is hard. We work hard. You and I are both hardworking women. We got to get up every day and we got to make stuff happen. If I choose to do faux locks, braids, twist, like you said, a quick pony, if I slick it back
'Cause
and gel it down, if I
I
wrap it
might
up,
own, I know for some, depending on the person, I might own hairstylist. I don't let everybody play in my hair. I don't let everybody do my hair. So
that
I
part too.
wash my own hair. I maintain my own hair. Everything that has to do with my hair, I treat my hair. And then when it comes to going to a braiding
Boom.
shop, okay, cool, whatever, whatever. But it's a lot of maintenance because so I just had that happen too. I was at a friend's house and I had my hair out because I just washed it everything because I was about to, do something to it. And they were like, "Oh, Ash, you have hair. Like, you're not bald headed." I was like, "Excuse me? Like a bald headed? What made you think I was bald headed?" They was like, "Oh, well, you keep your hair in braids." I'm like, just because somebody keep their hair in braids and locks and don't make them bald headed. It just means it's a lot
And
of
that is such
maintenance.
an offensive
It's a
thing.
lot of maintenance that comes with doing natural hair. I have natural hair. If the heat hits wrong, if certain things hit wrong, it's a lot that comes with this. So whatever works for me to do my hair, that's what I'm going to do.
Also, it's what people don't understand is like there is a thing that's called
Sure.
protective styling, right? And now we've learned later on in life, not everything that was deemed
It's
protective
protected.
is 100% protective. But this is why I like cultivate time. Like you have to treat your hair like a
Mm.
plant. That is a whole part of like how I take care of myself is like you said, washing my hair is a part of a routine. What I treat and feed my hair, the oils, the hydration, the time that I
Mhm.
let it relax and everything. I don't keep certain styles in for extended periods of time because I have to touch my scalp and
All
get
of
into
that.
my root. So when people are around me, I tell people all of the time, you don't know from one day to the next if you seeing me with my hair out. I remember one time I had went out to something, I was wearing my hair out, and they were like, "Oh, like you did something, like you added something to your curl." No, I didn't add anything to my hair, baby. I was like, I don't owe anybody the benefit of touching, playing, or trying to see what my hair looks like because I know that I still have hair on my head because of
Let me
how
tell
I
you.
take care of it. Because, like you said, don't let everybody play in
Let
your
me tell you.
tresses. And that goes for men and women. Don't let everybody like touch your hair.
I had like my own mama and family like track check me. So most times, like I said, I keep it like, braided, different styles. So whenever I have a style that's
Hmm.
kind of like, deep in my head, like braids, locks, whatever, like I said, I treat my own hair, but I do have a certain Dominican shop I go to where I'm like, I want them to, blow it out, hook me up. Yeah.
We be knowing all the
blow
real ones out
blow it
there. We
out
be
and hook me
knowing.
up. So I come home, I got my hair, layered. I'm hitting. You know what I'm saying? Legitly, my mom was like, "Oh, you ain't got sew in." I said, no, ma'am." I was like, "This is my hair." She was like, "No, it's not." And even it was like other family members like, "It's just not your hair." I'm like, "Yes, it is." To the point because of my mother. She's like, "Ashley, let me." I'm like, "Girl, ain't no tracks up in here. Go ahead. You can put a little finger. Ain't
It's the disbelief for me
It's
It's the
just
shock and
shocking
dismay
that
for me.
because you are black, you have to be. It's crazy to me that people believe because you are African American, you have to have short hair.
That's the thing. Our hair grows just as strong and healthy as anyone else's. And what it is that we've been led to believe that our hair is not healthy. It's how you treat and nurture. Also, a lot of things that happen to Black women's hair is also environmental conditions, the stress,
Mm,
the chemicals that are put not only in the food but put in the products that are also put into our stores too, that also have a significant impact to the hair. Like you had said something that was a whole world. Growing up, I was big on going to Dominican hair salons, and I always had like natural hair. Like I really wasn't a person, like I didn't believe in perms. I was always taught not to perm my hair because I had a lot of hair, but I also had a certain pattern to my hair that if I was to put chemicals in it, the fear would be that it would break off, right? So it was never a thing to really be like, oh, I want to go try a
definitely.
relaxer, you know? And so I remember that going to these Dominican salons, it was cool. But one of the biggest takeaways was like they were really big on applying a lot of heat,
You ain't lying.
right?
They'll
Because
tear
the
your
goal
ass
was to
up.
make sure that the hair is straight. They wanted your hair bone straight. And I was like, and that our hair is not necessarily meant to be straight. We could have a lot of hair, we could have long hair, we could have like a myriad of textures to our hair. But bone straight should never be the goal if it requires that much excessive heat. And that became a thing. Like the hair was always like long and lengthy, but then I started dealing with heat damage. And I remember what that looked like when I was younger. So at this point, as I've gotten older, my goal is like I may blow my hair out, but I do it on low heat. I don't put as much intensity to it because I want to maintain retention to length, but I want to maintain the oil and health to my
Okay.
hair without needs for breakage and damage and everything that you got to go through. That's what a lot of people don't realize. We do things to our hair sometimes to achieve a certain look that is not always equate to the healthiest thing because society teaches us that straighter hair and length go hand in hand. And that's what it's supposed to
That's
look
fact.
like.
So let me ask you this though. What is one healthy habit you wish your family helped you build growing up?
You know what? I'm gonna say one or two things, and this is gonna be hard hitting because I know sometimes I got some family that be out here, watching or whatever the case is, and so I'm gonna hit it with one. One was a financial thing, and I probably mentioned this before in the episode that we did. I used to get a lot of anxiety about coming into the house and opening mail because it was always encouraged for me. The first thing I did was to check your mail and open and look to see if you got a bill or
Oh
something that
Lord.
you got to
Okay.
pay. And I mean, honestly, that is like something that like stuck with me. And I feel like I wish that I prioritized settling into my house first, coming home, decompressing, taking off the stress before coming in from a stressful day. And then the first thing I do is open my mail to see if it's whether it's good or bad, but to check
Hmm.
something. And that's something that I feel like I grew up with as a concept and I've had to
Hmm.
unlearn it. And the other thing is, and I love my family down because I am, like I said, homegrown type of sister, right? I love my family down, but this was a big thing. It was around food. It's around food. The reality is that comfort food in communities of color is always going to be a big thing, and people feel like they could feed a flu, they could feed a fever, they could feed sadness, they could feed grief, they could feed a lot of things when things aren't going quite right. And that is a new mindset that I've had to refrain from as I've gotten older. I appreciate when grandma would make me that nana pudding that set my soul ablaze when I was feeling sad, or her blueberry pancakes, all of that good jazz, right? But at the same time, I had to develop a healthier relationship around food
That's
and
true.
eating to detach from stress eating and other forms of emotional eating as it pertains to food. So when you grow, and you do better.
That's true. I know for me, I feel like for one, therapy. I wish therapy.
We always
Yeah,
here for the therapy.
I
Like
wish
we always here for
therapy
that.
was something that was more spoke about, something that was, more common to do. I wish as a family, if they took those steps to do therapy, that maybe like later on as a generation they'd be like, hey, this helped me maybe you should try it. And we all know we I think we talked about this before in another episode. Where in the Black community, sometimes therapy is looked at like, oh, we not crazy, we don't need therapy, or we just talk it out, we just do this, that, and the third. And we grown now. We therapy ain't what it was imaged to be. Like, I don't know who made that image, but that's not that. So I feel like that was one thing where I wish like that was talked about more, to be like, hey, I took these steps and I'm seeing what's happening. Let's take these steps. One other thing that I feel like when it comes to a healthy habit, and I feel like I talked about this before too, communication. I feel like I wish certain things wasn't as hidden. A more healthy habit of communicating as a family, as what had things that have happened, things that have happened in our family, things that can be talked about, so that you have the knowledge to know what is going on. You don't have to realize it later on, years from now, like, oh, this is what happened to me. You talk to me, we had that open communication, we had that dialogue to know, like, hey, this is what happened to you. So I feel comfortable to come to you about something that happened to me, because you expressed to me your life and what happened to you. And I think we talked about that before,
I
that
think
like,
that's
if I knew some of the things that happened to, people that happened to my family, maybe I would have felt more comfortable to discuss things that have happened to me because of open communication.
when you say it comes like what comes first, the chicken or the egg, right? I think that a foundation for a lot of people of color needs to be therapy at
Mm-hmm.
this point to get to a healthier point of communication, right? I would love to say that the latter could happen before the former, that we can learn to establish ground where we can talk to each other, understand each other. But many people have such a breakdown in the way that they communicate their feelings that they have to go someplace to learn it first, right? To strategize. We say this all of the time, like therapy is just one form of a tool. It's not the only means of instruction that people can receive to like learn how to vet their emotions, but it is a really, really good tool to help you process your feelings and to just get some more insight and perspective, not only on how you think, but sometimes on how
Other people
other
think.
people may think as well, right? And I really do feel like I feel you on that 110%. Not only like professionally doing the work that I do has allowed me to grow as a person within practice, but going to therapy while also practicing and giving other people therapy
Yes.
goes hand in hand, right? Like I had to go through my own journey as a person to be a more informed practitioner. And I feel like just as a person, to be a more informed, conscious woman, right? Or a conscious man, you have to go through a journey. And a part of everybody's journey should be having to go to therapy at
Mm-hmm.
least at some
And
point
I
in their
mean,
life to unpack old wounds. Like, you know what I'm
mhm,
saying? And deal with
we
some
talk about this
things.
all the time. I feel like for us, because technically we be considered millennials, right? I feel like that
Correct.
we are more so the woke journey. And we talk about this where we are the breaking generational curse journey, where we're trying to move about things differently to try to figure out how can we not be what we were. We know what we experienced. If we can try to make you not go through that, that's what we're trying to do. And that's why I said, for me, I know that is a big thing. Like, and granted, therapy is one of those things where you have to make that step. You have to decide that's something for you. Until you're ready to make that step, that's when it will work for you. But even just in communication, I feel like sometimes we feel like we want to be headstrong. We want to hold on to things. We don't want to say certain things. And we talked about this too before, where in the African American community, we tend to push things under the rug a little bit, just brush them under the rug instead of talking about them and putting them on the front line. And I feel like if we could just have open communication, hey, this happened to me, this happened here. Don't do this. Don't be around Uncle Johnny. Don't do, you know what I'm saying? Certain things of that nature. I feel like a lot of things wouldn't happen, and we would be better.
I think like they said, like sins of a mother and a father, sometimes like we all have our
Cross there.
crosses to bear and our
Mm-hmm.
dresses to wear. Everybody has a story that
For
they
sure.
go through. And it's not always easy telling one generation from the next, but it could be information that's very useful to help us grow as people. There are things that I wish that I knew like from back then, that somebody could have imparted that wisdom to me, but they didn't because they didn't know how to communicate those things. And I think that now that I'm older, I understand why. I have a lot of ways that I've rationalized why it's not easy for people to express their pain or to caution you out of their pain, right? Or how they treat you in regards to some of the pain that they've experienced. I do have some sense of awareness
Here's
around
my
that.
thing though.
But I think that this is the first generation, like you say, like just speaking to us
Mhm.
being millennials, this is the most educated generation of women that's out right now, the most financially stable, the women who have the least amount of children before the age
40.
of 40, they're saying right now. Like, there's so much advancement that women have had to make. And I think therapy has
But
a lot to
also
do with it. A lot of women are
I
like,
think
I
it's a
had to
mix.
learn to work through trauma
I
before
think it's a
getting
mix
here.
of therapy and fear. Fear will make
Mm,
you change things. Fear will make you say, I don't want to be what I seen. I don't want to be what I
mm,
went through. I don't want to be the person. I was that child. I want to make a child that have to go through what I went through. Fear is what's conducting a lot of us because not all of us are in therapy, but a lot of us
wow,
are moving
that's
off of
true.
fear. Because why would I want to put another little person through what I had to walk through?
I do think that there's a level of selfishness that people expose their children to, and that could be a story for another
Hmm.
day. But I do feel like without, if you know that you are not a healed individual, to bring other
That's
people
crazy.
into that dynamic without doing the work is like chaos ensuing chaos, you know? Like, and I do feel like it's unfortunate, especially speaking and talking to young people the way that I do and listening to them repeating patterns of their family members or experiencing like direct trauma related to their family members because it's generations of generations who haven't had good communication, you know? So I agree with you there. I think that fear has been a saving grace in some perspective, but it's also like inhibited us from like exploring life from different lenses because we feel like we got to keep ourselves
Remember I
safe
told you I was like,
because we're not entitled to be that
remember I told you we
relaxed.
had this conversation before where I was like, if I knew some of the things that happened, so you made a point where you were like, oh, your parents may tell you XYZ, but I feel like sometimes one of those things where like you tell me too late, or you tell me because we're having an argument, or whatever. So now you want to tell me something because you want to
Hmm.
prove a point. So you're like, oh well, I had this happen, so I don't want to hear what you have to say. That's not how it should come out. It's one of those things where like if I knew the
Yeah.
story of my family members, if I knew the story of my mother, my father, if I knew the true story of certain people, maybe I would have felt comfortable to come to you and disclose some things that had happened to me. You get what I'm saying? So it's like I would that's why I'm saying the communication, I feel like I wish we could really work on even past therapy. Therapy, like don't get me wrong, black people we need therapy, but I do feel like
Jesus
yeah,
and
but I
therapy
do
exist
feel
in the
like
same
even
place.
if that wasn't a thing, I feel like I wish the communication be stronger to feel like we could discuss these things before it goes this far. I could tell you this is what happened.
But that was my point, that so many people, you would
Hmm.
hope, right, that communication is the starting foundation, but it isn't, because so many people operated in pain and silence because they were taught to, right? We spoke about this in episodes past when we talk about roots and branches. Stay in the child's place. You're not supposed to say
Hmm.
outside business, like home business stays inside of the home and it doesn't go outside of the home, right? We're supposed to be strong people. You're not supposed to be out here
Hmm.
crying and this, that, and the third. Don't let nobody feel like they got the upper hand on you. There were so many things that were rooted in the culture that at a time that we
Yes,
needed back then. Like back then, the type of strength that had to be exhibited was needed for
and that's why I
survival.
said we are now
Right
in
now,
the healing
we need
culture.
different tools for survival. Yeah, because we need different tools for survival. We have to heal in today's
Yeah,
society in effort for us to grow as
true.
people and to like to live healthier and better lives. But back then, the tools that were given to our
It was
mothers and
different.
grandmothers and great grandmothers were given to them because that's what they
Yes,
needed at a time in life to survive their circumstances. We had to break those
because
chains,
now
and we are breaking those chains, which makes it where we're a little at odds with the generations before us because we're like, why don't y'all get that y'all can break those barriers down and go about life in a different way to
True.
get the help that
Because
you need?
now you can't be married and not have broke those chains. You can't sit up here with kids and not have broke those chains. It's a different it's a
Hmm.
different situation we're in now. That's why I said as millennials, we have tried to start that generational breaking where it's like we cannot have this happen. And moving forward, follow this accordingly because it's one of those things where like it's not the same. Back then it was survival mode. We took ourselves out of survival mode and said, "Hey, this is where we're in healing mode now. We want to heal. We don't want to survive. We want to heal. We want to figure out what we have to do to sit up here and be a better person to ourselves, to our family, and to heal, to move forward because it shouldn't have to be this hard. Life is not supposed to be this hard."
No, I agree with you. And you know what? I think, like I said, there's a beautiful part about life that takes you through
It does,
phases of different, like you're gonna go through
for
different
sure.
experiences, right? And I think that you can't have good without bad, like you can't have happy
Yeah,
without
up without
sad. You have
down.
to have a combination of these things, right? But you have to have all these different resources to navigate those experiences. Knowing how to handle happiness in healthy ways is a good thing. Knowing how to handle sadness in healthy
For
ways
sure.
is a good thing. It's all of those maladaptive things that people do that can continue to make a situation worse. And I think that when we speak about healing and positivity and finding joy and going to therapy, we're talking about building an arsenal of tools that has aided our health and our wellness and our happiness, right? Even at times where things weren't easy, when conversations with other people weren't easy. Like, I'm gonna tell you something right now. I even being, like I said, working with clients and doing therapy, I could give them all the skills and all the tools in the world, things that I studied, grow to new, did the work and everything. But there were times I would still have those difficulties in my own
Fact.
personal relationships using some of those
Mhm.
tools. And by going to therapy and having this person call me out and have me put certain things into practice, it was transformative. It was transformative. And like I said, and I just started to, when I meet other women, I try to have those same transformative conversations. It doesn't mean like everybody has to be forced to doing things the way that you do things, but saying, you know, like you said, in your own time, there's going to get to a point in your life where you may be called into a different space where you need to have healing in different ways. So if this didn't work for you no more, then baby, try to find something else. You know what worked for me? These are the things that work for me. May not work for you, but I think you should try to find something that
Oh,
works for
baby,
you.
I felt that. You almost took me to church. Look here. And Easter Sunday is coming up. Um, but but
Won't
I
he do
think
it?
I think it's time for the savage question.
Savage
Believe in peace.
question.
So I had somebody DM me about a savage question. Rondo asked, "Is therapy the new
Hmm.
flex or the new necessity?"
I'm gonna say this, and this may not be received by all. Necessity, 110%. I'm not saying that you need to go from now for the rest of your life. I don't think that you got to start off in this world and the first thing people should do is enroll you in therapy. But I think that everybody can benefit from, if not therapy, some form of therapeutic activity, therapeutic service or intervention, some type of counseling at some point, or some form of mentorship. I think that everybody needs something to help them make it through this very difficult life that we're out here living.
Okay. So my answer to that would be I feel like if you're using it as a flex, you should talk to your therapist about it. And like you said, y'all can fight me about it. If you are using it as a flex, you need to talk to your therapist about it because a flex is something like your ego is hitting on, and that's not therapy. Is for your healing. It's a necessity. We are at a point, like you said, it's a necessity. It's something where I am trying to better myself. I'm trying to do something for me. If you out here thinking it's a flex and you boosting body like, oh, I'm in that. We not doing that.
Let me tell you, this is not the worst. And I hate when some people voice this and they go, I've done the work. Keep doing
Keep
it.
doing it.
I have this thing, right? When you say I've done the work, that may be true, right? I don't take anything away from anybody who said, like, I've taken the steps to access support and I went to therapy, right? But in that very statement, you say it is like it's something that is complete. Like it's done now. Like I completely don't need this anymore. You never know when you're going to need to speak to someone again or to have a realignment, right? So I always say this. It's not about, oh, I've done the work. It's I'm doing the work. I'm going to continue to do the work. And whatever that looks like for you is whatever it looks like. But people like therapy is just like in a way where people sometimes go every week or one time out of every other week or whatever, or once a month, whatever your maintenance therapy looks like, you're doing the work. Continue to do the work because we're going to consistently change and shift as people. So life is going to throw so many challenges. To say that I went in the past and that was what it was doesn't mean that you may never have to go again. So I always tell people keep themselves open. Don't say you did it. Say that you're continuously willing to do
True,
it.
because healing is never an ending process. Now, my thing is this: if you went for a certain thing, then maybe you feel like that certain issue that I had is solved. But you can have other
Correct.
issues that need to be solved. But healing is always a continuous process because it's always going to be something that happens, something that's going to rub you the wrong way, a family member, a issue, something that you thought you was over. And I'm saying this because now I'm open, honest to say, I am now myself personally going through therapy, and I'm realizing things that I thought I was healed from, you don't realize that you're healed from until you know what I'm saying, somebody tells you that you not you, because we tell someone all the time, before you seek help, you think like, oh, I worked through that, I did what I need to do, I took my me time and I did this, I ate my crab leg, you know what I'm saying, all the things that we do, we tell ourselves we did that until somebody's like, you didn't heal from the way you thought you did. And we all have different issues or whatever. If you're healing from a certain thing and you feel like you
Hmm.
passed that one thing, I can understand you being like, okay, I went over that one hurdle. But it's so many other hurdles that's going to happen where, trust me, you're going to want to sit back on that couch. You're going to want to sit back and talk to somebody again because so many other things are going to happen throughout your life that you were not,
Yep. Just speaking to that is like when we talk about being on a journey, it doesn't
it
have an
does,
end goal, right? Like when I tell people, when I say I'm on a mental health and wellness journey, when I'm on a healthy eating or a
it's no
physical
finish line.
fitness or a life journey or financial journey, there's no finish line to those things. A journey has a starting point,
No, that
but it
point.
doesn't necessarily have to have a
Yeah, it's
stopping
no end goal.
point. You know what I'm saying? This is a lifelong mission that you're going to continue to build and shift and change. And the goal throughout the process is to
That's
continuously get
fact.
better. That's it.
That's fact. But I think we hit them off with this one.
We did. I hope we shared lots of real and blessings out here too. Like, you know what I'm saying? Our real ones, our royals. We hope y'all
Mhm.
felt this episode
Yes, I
tonight.
hope y'all did.
So we're gonna tell y'all, where to go tune in to go find us. Like as always, Miss Well and Woke, Lady A Savage. Hit us up on YouTube. Go follow the pages, Lady A Savage, Miss Well and Woke. Hit us up on Instagram to see all of the highlight reels and some exploratory conversation with us. Slide in the DMs. Come shout us out and watch us on TikTok. We want to hear from y'all. Leave a like, a comment, subscribe, do what you do. Wherever you get your listening pleasure, we're also here on Riverside FM.
For sure. And like I told y'all before, any savage question you want to hear, like Rondo reached out, y'all can DM, reach out. We are here for y'all. We want to interact with y'all. We want to know what y'all want to hear, and we are here for y'all. And like my homegirl say all the time, we love y'all for free.
For free. And we out.